Hey, I'm Sandeep Parekh, and I'm going to speak about the right to public information. Habeas data, as I call it, it's a command to produce the information. And it's a right which is a very, very recent right. In most parts of the world, around the year 2000, around 85 countries now have a right to public information, which is a citizen's right asking the government to produce information. Information is key in the bureaucratic and governmental circles because the monopoly of bureaucracy and governments to information produces an enormous amount of power which can be misused, which can be a source of inefficiency. A former judge of the US Supreme Court once said, sunlight is the best of disinfectants and a lamppost the best of policemen. Here, ours is a kind of a bit of a tweak on that. We want the lamppost to actually put light on the policeman himself so that his actions can be exposed and we can get the benefits of such exposure. But clearly the devil is in the detail. We've had countries like Zimbabwe under Mugabe, we've had countries like Pakistan under the dictator Musharraf who've implemented acts like this. So the optics of having such an act are very clear. But there are lots of exemptions which many of these countries actually implement defeating. So the exemption is actually bigger than the act, defeating the whole purpose of the act itself. So there can be exemptions on grounds of national security, on grounds of public policy, whatever that means. And clearly the governments will try to defeat the purpose of having an act despite there being an act. A classic example is Mozambique, where it was used. Eric will talk about that, where it was used to counter electoral fraud. A citizen kind of tried to find out where the electoral ballot boxes are to find out whether malpractices were actually happening. This is kind of a personal story of mine. I worked at the securities regulator for 2 years and I tried to make board meetings public. For 2 years I failed even at a senior position. I came out as a citizen. And I filed a short application, 2 lines, 5 cents fee, asking for this information. And within 2 days, that information was made public on the website. The right has been used for many things, including cleaning roads in India, for instance. India has been a great success story for kind of countering corruption. If your passport is held up, file a Right to Information Act, you'll probably get it very, very quickly. It's been used in South India very, very crucially, where attendance level of public teachers was in the region of 15%. Somebody filed a Right to Public Information Act asking for the attendance register of teachers. It suddenly shot up to 70% from 15%. And that's kind of the power of the act, which I think this is the best possible example. Going forward, what is our task force trying to do? We're trying to do 2 or 3 different things. One is we've already kind of created the first draft of a model act, which should be, we hope will be the gold standard of an act which countries can benchmark their laws against, or if they don't have a law, they can bring in laws. We plan to have a wiki which will speak to ordinary citizens as opposed to a technical legal document. People's trials and tribulations about their experiences in their country, about what is effective, what is not effective, what are the exemptions which ought to be kind of done away with. We want advocacy. Clearly, we need to kind of speak to people both from the political level and at the citizens level. We will try to harness the efforts of various task forces, global agenda councils here. Outside, we've spoken to Transparency International already. We plan to speak to the citizens through Twitter, say Facebook, social networking sites, the World Economic Forum, etc. And clearly the Young Global Leader Task Force, we already have 18 people, and I hope some more of you will join us. And the way forward is utopia, clearly. We think this is an initiative which makes all other initiatives function. So I think it's a very, very key initiative. We want to push towards more voluntary disclosure by governments. We want kind of, finally, at some point of time, we also want country rankings of superior right to public information. So with that, thank you so much.